Hi, welcome. I'm Mary and I hook books. I crochet things inspired by books. And I moved recently, and one of the people who helped me said, Mary, half of what you own is yarn. And I mean, at least it's lightweight and easy to move. I'm a good friend. So that is a little bit of a problem. I am not completely giving myself a no-buy ban, but I really do need to work through some of my back stash. So I'm gonna do a couple stash buster type patterns and just freehand crochet to really work through some of this yarn that I've had forever. And I'm going to start with 3 skeins of yarn that I had for another project and I don't even know what brand it is anymore, or I've had a couple that were gifted to me, here my grandma doesn't want it anymore, so I don't even know what brand it was originally. So I'm gonna try to think pink for about a week or so and really burn through those pink yarns that I've had sitting around for 3 or 4 years. I'll also be reading books with pink on the cover. So we're still intertwined. There's still theming between my books and my crochet. Job by Christopher Moore is a very interesting take on death. It's actually kind of what I was expecting from the Terry Pratchett death series when everyone kept talking that up. So I love Christopher Moore. He has some things that can be like a little problematic, but comedy is very subjective, and I really feel like A Dirty Job is Dead Like Me, that really great show, told by your kind of weird horny uncle. It actually has a really great, interesting, and different than anything I've read take on death. So our protagonist is a self-proclaimed beta male, and I really thought we were over that, and this was in 2006, so I was just like letting it go. But like the internet is really bringing back alpha and beta and like sigma males and the world we live in. Anyway, so our protagonist, I think his name was Charlie. I'm terrible with character names, but I think his name was Charlie. His wife dies in the very first chapter, so not a spoiler. And he sees a very tall black man in a green suit in his wife's room right before she dies. And he's like, what's going on? And the guy in the green suit goes, you can see me? Oh no. So he is what he calls himself, a death merchant. And Charlie becomes one too. So they both have like knick-knack shops. Charlie has a knick-knack shop, and Minty Fresh is his name. The guy in the green suit owns a record shop. And they have to go around collecting soul vessels. Money is not handling the snow day well, so he's getting a little crazy over here, sorry. So they have to collect soul vessels. When someone dies, there's a vessel that holds their soul, and souls are apparently kind of recyclable. So people come to their shop, and the right soul vessel always finds the right person to be their soul. So people aren't necessarily born with souls. Sometimes they have to acquire them. So I thought that was just such a really cool, interesting take on death. And I think the characters are cute. The Emperor of San Francisco is in this book too, along with his two little doggies, and that is from the Bloodsucking Fiends series. And I love them. I love them so much. So the humor isn't necessarily going to hit for everybody. It mostly hit for me. There were a few things that I'm like, I could have done without that. But overall, it was really fun, quirky, heartfelt, and I think the characters are really where he shines. And I will have the pattern in the description box, but I had this pink, white, variegated yarn laying around, and I made this adorable little scarf. But I can't find it, so I'm gonna talk about Drunk on All Your Strange New Words again. So this is, it's sci-fi, and then it kind of turns into a murder mystery and a buddy comedy, and I am here for it. There is an alien species that comes to our planet and we open trade. There's nothing big, scary, any of that. I mean, there are conspiracy theorists that, you know, any new group is always, you know, the enemy and going to crush what makes us us. But overall, like, we just have ambassadors and cultural attaches, and of course they need translators. So our main character is a translator for this cultural attache, and their language is mostly mental. So it's like a psychic translator, and it kind of makes the translators feel a little drunk, which is why it's called Drunk on All Your Strange New Words. And this, like I said, it turns into a murder mystery and then like a buddy comedy, and Munster is not handling cold weather, so I'm sorry about that. But this was adorable, and I think I gave it like 4.5, 4.75, like not quite 5, but it was a lot of fun. And I made this cute little shawl. I didn't really have a pattern, but I did kind of like a granny square, almost like a solid granny square, and then I did front post double crochet to make this texture. Let's see if you can see it. And then just regular double crochet for a few rows, and then double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet to make this really cute shawl pattern. Rabbit Hole by Holly Madison was so relatable and so good. She was one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends, and she just, I related to her so much. She was just so sweet and so caring, and she just ended up in these situations that were supposed to be good for her, that were supposed to be stepping stones, and ended up just kind of crushing her soul. So I totally understand that. And then going from one abusive relationship to another, and just, oh, so her whole story was just so interesting, and I wasn't really like in the age range that was obsessed with the girls next door. I knew of it, and I'd seen a couple episodes, and the episodes where she got to actually work at the magazine were the ones that I saw, and I thought that was really cool. I didn't realize that was like this much of her story. So it is just so interesting, the dynamics of being one of 7 girlfriends, then one of 3, and just the relationship dynamics. I also have been in relationships with older men that cry like toddlers when they don't get their way. So and like trying to just find all the positivity and all the love and caring within yourself and bringing it to the situation you're in, instead of stepping back and going, wow, this is messed up, I should really not be doing this. Like, girl same. So I loved this. I wasn't really into the whole Playboy thing, but I was aware of it, but I loved her story. And she does have all these cute quotes throughout, from Alice Down the Rabbit Hole or Alice Through the Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland, and the sequels throughout, that are just so poignant. So I loved this. Definitely a good 5 stars. And I made this cute scarf. I didn't really have a pattern. This is just a Arrowhead stitch, I believe is what it's called, in Tunisian crochet. I learned how to do this from TL Yarn Crafts, so I'll have that video linked down below as well. I feel like it was trying a little bit too hard. Like, this feels like something I would have written in my brief stint as a philosophy major about epistemology, trying to make it like accessible to people who might not like philosophy. So I should have liked this, I think, and I liked the beginning, but as it went on, I just kind of lost interest. I'm not a big conspiracy person. Like, this is gonna be for my birds aren't real girlies. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this to some people I know. But for me, the beginning with the murder mystery and setting up this world where everyone is obsessed with truth, lying is literally against the law, and we're following these enforcement officers, that was kind of interesting. But the deeper the conspiracy theory got, the more I was like, I don't exactly know what this is trying to say, and I think it might be saying something I don't like about how, like, truth isn't necessarily objective. But I don't know, I just kind of got bored by the end, which is really unfortunate. But Now I know. And I made a Tunisian double crochet longer scarf out of this ombre, I think it is. It's like mandala yarn. So I learned how to do this doing the Jada in Stitches crochet calendar blanket, Crochet-a-long, I think 2 years ago now. So I'll have the video for that linked down below as well. This may be cheating, like just a teeny bit, but like Peach is... Chaos kitties. Peach is in the family of pink, and I had to return this to the library. So, Magic, Lies, and Deadly Pies. This has been on my TBR forever. I feel like it was really popular a couple years ago, but I haven't heard anything about it really since. No one has really talked about the sequels. So overall, like, I love this premise. I absolutely love a asexual bi-romantic love triangle. Like, and as someone who used to bake, who is a feminist, but also really enjoys baking for other people and crafting and etc., I relate so much to Daisy, our main character. She does kind of wonder, like, am I a bad feminist because I like these things? And no, you're not. So, Magic Lies and Deadly Pies, our main character has this power, and everyone in her family has the power to imbue emotions into something. My children are being extra chaotic right now, I'm sorry. So her great-grandmother had the ability to put emotions into flowers. Her grandma had the ability to sew things like courage and pride and confidence into clothing that our main character wears, which is so super sweet. And her mother had like a hairstyling power, so while she did people's hair, she could give them confidence and forgiveness or whatever they needed at the time, even more so than like a regular hairstylist, because like real hairstylists are also just plain magic, but she had like extra magic. So our main character can put things into pies, and she has a food truck that she takes to a college, and she puts focus and reduced anxiety or calmness, etc., into pies that she sells to college students. And she puts forgiveness into various pies, or forgetfulness, and all good stuff. She also makes murder pies for her side business, Pies Before Guys, which I love. I love that saying. I love that as a business name. So Pies Before Guys, she tries to keep her life separate, but she will find people, women, at domestic violence support groups and connect with them and send their abusive partners murder pies. If I ever have them come up at the library. I have a notify me on the second book. I might pick it up. It's not something I'm gonna go rush out and buy the sequels. By all means, this is adorable. This is a really fun, cozy mystery. And like I said, it's got some really great bi-romantic, asexual representation. It's got super cute dogs. And it's got really fun, quirky side characters too. So I would recommend this if you are new to the cozy genre. This could be a really nice one to start with. Oh my gosh, I feel like I talked about that for so long and then I almost forgot to show you guys the blanket I made. I wish I knew what yarn this was. This yarn was donated by a student's grandma who got frustrated with crochet and never wanted to see it again. So it didn't have a label on it, but it was huge. So I wish I knew where to get more. I made the Atlanticus blanket. It's got like 8 parts to it, but I was able to get through the first 3 parts, and it turned out to be a really cute kind of baby blanket. And you can see there's some really fun, cool textures and patterns in here. You could obviously make this with lots of different colors, but it also looks cute in monochrome. Thank you for joining me this week on my Think Pink stash busting adventure. I read some really fun books, so let me know if you're gonna pick up any. I finally found a friend at work that I can thrust my favorite books upon, so that is super exciting. So make me make that noise again. Tell me you're gonna pick up these books. And I will have all the patterns in the description box. I'll also have the Buy Me a Coffee link if you'd like to support the crochet cause or fund the fancy feast around here. And please do the YouTubies, like, share, subscribe, and comment to help me in the algorithm. I really do appreciate that. Last year I doubled my subscribers. I mean, it's still like 50, but still, it's double what I had before. And I really thought this was going to be just my former students. But hi, strangers from the internet! It's so nice to meet you. So, do the YouTubies. Keep your heads up, shoulders back, take care of yourself, and breathe.